Hello everybody. So I just wanted to give a little health update on myself just because having HHT, I've realized that prevention, discussion, all those things are what's most important, and by getting the word out, one, I can help friends and family who are maybe curious about what's going on, just let them know, and for other people who don't know about the disease to be more informed. So last week I took a trip down to Salt Lake City, and they have a HHT Center down there, and it was one, I just want to start off by saying, the best hospital experience I've ever had anywhere. And having HHT, I have been to a lot of hospitals, at least in the Montana area, for ever since I was about 15 now. And so I have a lot of different experiences, and that was by far the best. So if you have it or know somebody who does, I would strongly suggest it if you can make it to Salt Lake, to do that. And like I said, the thing I really learned down there, number one thing is prevention is key. And so I just wanted to kind of start off the video with some different signs and symptoms that HHT patients might have. And if any of these sound familiar to you or to somebody you know and love, to let them know and have them get tested, get a genetic test done or have a CT scan, MRI, and have it sent to somebody who knows what they're looking at, because, I had CT scans in the past and they saw what was an AVM, but it took, their trip to the ER for somebody to take a closer look at it. So really be sure, if you're going to have that done, to do it by some professionals that you trust. Otherwise, it may go undiagnosed even though they see something. So here are just some of the signs and symptoms of HHT. Nosebleeds. This is the big one out of all of them. So 90% of people with HHT have reoccurring nosebleeds by the time they reach their 40s. That was my main thing when I went down there, is I got laser nose surgery and fixed some of the telangiectasias in my nose. I was starting to lose up to 30 cc's of blood or more with every bleed, and it's not always that serious, but it could be, and some people are anemic because of it. So, if you're somebody who gets a lot of nosebleeds, maybe just check that out. So telangiectasias on the face, hands, mouth, especially the tongue. So they look like little red to purplish dots. 95% of people with HHT have them. So I have them a lot on my hands. They're just, like I said, little red dots. You probably can't see it from there, but I got one there, on the back of my hand, into my throat, and those were the ones in my nose that were causing the bleeding. And then we would have AVMs in the brain, lungs, spine, liver, or GI tract. That is definitely like, ooh, big sign. And then these ones are more of the, I don't want to say less specific, but can contribute to a lot of things. So shortness of breath, exercise intolerance, fatigue, migraine headaches, seizures, abdominal pain, leg swelling, intestinal bleeding, and anemia. So, those are some more of the general signs. And so, like I said, if you know anybody, really just see if you can get that stuff tested. All right, so back to my visit. So the first thing I did was had a bubble echocardiogram. And to explain that a little bit, first thing that happened is I just got a ultrasound of my heart, and I was in there for probably 30 minutes doing that, just in different areas of my chest to get different views of the heart, see how it's pumping, look at the blood flow through it. And I mean, you never like going to the doctor, but that's one thing that maybe is kind of cool is I got to see my heart pump and the little flicks of the chambers and whatnot. Pretty cool. So the bubble test part of it is then I got hooked up to an IV, and they have this little contraption where they have two saline tubes attached to this center console basically, and they push it back and forth to agitate the liquid to cause bubbles in it. And then when the cardiologist is ready, the nurse pushes that stuff through, and he looks at it while he's doing the echocardiogram, the ultrasound, and seeing how those bubbles are being pushed through the heart. And so this indicates how much blood shunting is happening in the heart, and blood shunting is a very high indicator of if you have lung AVMs. So I had this procedure done when I was about 15, and I don't really remember all of what was going on, but as most of you know, I've had a couple surgeries since then to fix the AVM. Well, after getting those results back, we were highly surprised because I had a CT scan done fall of this past year, and that looked, really good. And they didn't see anything. Local doctors didn't see anything, and then the specialist down at Salt Lake didn't see anything. But what the echocardiogram told us was that I was having, on a scale from 0 to 5, with 5 being the worst, between a 4 and a 5 of blood shunting, when really I should have had between 0 and maybe max at 2. So, a couple different things. What this could mean for me is that I have several small AVMs in my chest that basically are untreatable. So, there's just several of them causing a lot of crazy blood flow to be happening with not a lot of oxygenation. Second thing is, when they had this CT scan, because I do have 2 coils in my chest, that causes a lot of interference. Whew, cat hair. A lot of interference on the screen. So I could have something that's basically right on top of that coil that they can't see because it's causing interference. And I could either have this AVM that they had fixed twice previously to just keep pumping blood through there when it's not supposed to, or my veins could have taken an alternate route around that same area and created kind of a new block. This is troublesome for several different reasons. So having that much blood shunting through your heart and the ability for air to be in causes a high risk for bacterial infection. So one of the genetic counselors told me that more people with HHT die of bacterial infection and brain abscess than they do of a stroke, internal bleeding, any of that stuff. So, it could be just me going to the dentist, getting my teeth cleaned, didn't take antibiotics, and had a problem because of that. So they definitely want to get that fixed. And on that note, I'll be going down in 2 months to see, hi baby, this is Hedwig, everybody, my baby, say hi to the camera. Ugh. Okay. So, manhandling him. Okay, go back down there, get a full angiogram because the CT scan is obviously not working. And what an angiogram consists of is they take catheters through, I think it's veins, or is it? I believe veins or arteries in my groin. I can't remember, but I had it done when I had my surgeries. And they take this little tube up all the way, release some dyes, do some imaging, and that's how they can see what's going on a better scale. So, yeah, besides the possibility for a brain abscess and bacterial infection, higher risk of clotting in that area. That's not supposed to go there. It's the clot is supposed to stop in that area to cause that section to die. And but if something like that went through a bypass and got stuck somewhere else, bad news. Start having possibilities of stroke there. And then this is kind of minute in terms of everything else. I was kind of bummed about it, but no scuba diving for me. And the only reason I was really thinking about that is I plan to study abroad in Greece next year, and that was something I want to add to my list. So hopefully I can get it solved by then. So that's what that told me. And then they were kind of confused that I've had this much trouble with one area for the past 5 years or so. They say usually that doesn't happen with somebody at my age. If you have one, they get it fixed, that's kind of it. So to have the same area continuously having problems is really strange. Because with HHT, it's one of those things that usually gets worse as you get older. And so for me, this news, it kind of sucks, because it just means that, if I'm having trouble with, one, getting IVs in and catheters and having these AVMs consistently while I'm young, and to know that they're only going to get worse as I get older, just means a lot of being in the hospital as I get older. So that's just the reality of it for me, though, reality of my life. And I have to live with that. And so the only other thing they did was discuss how I really should have had brain CT done, and we didn't have those, and they only got the results from when I was 15, one day before I came, so we didn't have an opportunity to set up an appointment with the neurosurgeon. So that's something else I'm going to do as I go back down there next time, is talk to a neurosurgeon and see, get some more imaging done and really see how the two AVMs in my head, what those are doing. Because it can, it's part of your brain, and mine are in the frontal lobe here, so it could affect certain parts of your brain. I know I do get migraines a lot because of them. There's a possibility of them hindering certain brain functions. That was kind of the sum of my whole appointment, kind of the risks I have right now, the diagnoses that I got. Luckily I'm not anemic. The no laser surgery went really well. Had a little bleeding, but not nearly as much. And so, it's definitely scabbed, a little sore, but I'd take that over, having nosebleeds for an hour or more each day. So I, just want to thank you for tuning in and listening to my spiel here. And I will keep you updated with any other news that I receive. So thank you. Bye.